Helen Keller gives a great insight to a meaningful life. The best and the most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart, and so is friendship. Friendships are beautiful, isn't it, Aarti? And today, why is it important to speak about friendship? How has friendship changed, and what are the changing paradigms of friendship? Over to you.
It's very important for us to understand that as human beings, we're relational beings. You know, none of us really likes to live alone, though there is a lot of talk about solitude being very important for us as human beings. However, the epidemic of loneliness is something that's also ever increasing in the current generation. Now, when we were growing up in the India in the 90s, I think, that would be our first memories of friendship, because we were into our teen years and we were beginning to make friends. If you looked at it, we didn't really have great models, because our parents, had large families, and they would be, a lot of relationships within those family structures, and very few people who would actually be considered friends from the outside, though there were many. Um, at the same time, we had to find our own way through friendships, and this was the pre-internet era. So snail mails worked. In
Mm,
fact, now when we call it snail mails, it sounds very funny, because phone calls were also not so common. It was not really the in thing, because very few people actually had landlines in their
landline.
house, and they would actually speak to each other. Otherwise, our interactions were always face to face, and in school, or walking back from school towards the home, or things like that. So I think we lived in a much simpler paradigm of friendship, where it was very, very easy to take responsibility for making the friendship work.
Work.
And I think the toxic patterns were identified much earlier, because there was a lot of commitment. There were fewer distractions in that sense. We were able to do a lot more with our relationships, which is why even at the end of 30 years, 35 years, nothing seems to have changed, because there's a lot of investment from both sides. However, I think post internet, post social media rather, there has been a huge shift in the way friendships are, because you can now unfriend, you can block, which I think we never could do. Like, if we had a problem, we'd
We had to
probably
sort
talk
it
it
out.
out. We'd probably see how to work it out and things like that. We never could block anybody. And then, you didn't have influencers and followers and all these words, which are so typically this generation. So there is this fear of missing out. A lot of teenagers, especially, come in for counseling because their relationships have fallen through, or they've been expelled from a clique, they've been expelled from a chat, or they're not part of an elite group and things like this, which I don't think was such a problem. We still had cliques and all that, but I don't think at this level of toxicity or narcissism also, if I could add
Mm.
that. So I know now that a lot of teenagers who go in for mental health related issues, who do seek counseling, do so because their relationships lack the kind of depth and meaning that a human being needs to be able to survive or to make it through the day. Now, for example, if you had a bad day, you would probably first reach out to a friend and have a chat. It wouldn't be to vent out things. It could just be reaching out to let the friend know, I need some support, are you around for me? And it would always happen. But this generation, I think, once there's a problem, it's always put up on social media, and then people are reacting to that, and then then there is trolling, and then there is shaming, and then there is blaming. So I think, in terms of paradigm, if you actually ask me, the internet has played havoc with the quality of relationships that people can have. And what's also happening is, there is this constant pressure. They call it, the generation that we're talking about calls it the hustle culture,
Mm.
that they should always be doing something post worthy, in terms of, I'm doing this course, I have to put up that certificate on Instagram or Facebook. In fact, you and I using Facebook, they call it our generation. Older people use it. Their
Yeah,
generation uses Insta and
Instagram.
Snapchat and much more recent apps and things like that. So considering all of this, and the hustle culture is, I have to be busy all the time, I should be doing these fancy things so that I'm always outdoing my peer group and all of this. So at some point, it's become extremely unhealthy, and I think a lot of young students are struggling through relationships. The ones that are lucky make one or two friendships which they're able to sustain and maintain. But overall, if you see the trend, and if we've seen the questions that have come, we realize that quite a number of them are struggling. And this is across gender, across socioeconomic strata. It's not to do with, a particular group of
Group.
people. So I think at some point we'll need to see how to support them through this, because I don't think we understand it because we've not lived through their shoes. But there are basic relational rules that can work even through these. And I think that's what we'll talk about today.
Yeah.
So I think that sets the tone for what
Yeah.
we'll be doing.
And from what we've discussed, it's moved more towards the outside rather than inner connect. So there's a lot of gestures that has to happen outside to show that a relationship is working, and it's not the understanding from the inside. And friendship is very important
If I
during.
can give you the simplest example, if I could give you the simplest example, you and I grew up in an India where the camera had 36 photographs that you could take
Yes,
on a roll of film.
and every
So
picture
we
was
never had the
precious.
selfies. Every picture was precious. So we never really wasted photographs on taking just what I ate, what I did, and all of those things. It was just precious moments that were clicked, and then we would have photographs, multiple copies. Both of us would probably have copies and
Yes,
things like that. Now with everybody having devices that can take photographs, a million photographs, I think that a joy of just being in the moment with a friend is missing. If you notice, they're celebrating a birthday. It's not about celebrating the person anymore. It's about, putting that picture of the
pictures.
cake online. I'm with this person, tagging someone, having the best hashtags, so many things, like you're saying, externally. And the moment a relationship goes external, it starts becoming very toxic for the self more than anything else. Because what happens is, a relationship is one of the truest forms of investment on the self, because a relationship that I'm in is always a reflection of myself. And if I'm not in a healthy space there, it's also showing you that internally I'm not okay. So if I'm repeatedly getting into toxic relationships, if I'm repeatedly sabotaging my relationships, it's a reflection of the relationship I have with myself. And to set this healthy tone, the primary relationship any person needs to have is with themselves. And by this, I'm not meaning this narcissistic, I'm going to be selfish and use everybody. It's an investment on making sure that I introspect, I work on myself, I become a better version of myself every day. I'm competing only with myself, and so on. But when this is healthy, the relationships that come into my life are also going to be healthier. And even if they don't work out the way they're originally intended to work out, we are still able to heal through this process. Now, if you see a lot of relationships, people are unable to heal and move on. There's stalking, there's revenge, there's a lot of shaming. There is us versus them. Once the relationship ends, they move out and fight each other, and shame each other on social media and things like that. So somewhere I think we'll need to address these issues. And I think when we talk about boundaries,
Yeah,
we'll need to talk about these boundaries, because it's not only the relational boundaries, but also the social media boundaries that we'll need to talk about, because it's very important.
sure.